Hi all, welcome back to the channel. I am N Samira, and in this video I'm going to explain about random forest. Random forest is an improved version of the decision tree. So why we are moving for the random forest and what is the drawback of decision trees and how it is avoided we will see. So the constructed decision trees result into the low bias and high variance. As a result, very small changes in the dataset may largely affect the constructed model, which is known to be the process of overfitting the data and which should be actually avoided. So random forest basically adopts bagging technique to avoid overfitting. So bagging includes the process of bootstrapping followed by aggregation. So in bootstrapping, we are having some training data set and we are taking random sampling of rows with replacement from the training data set, thereby results in the formation of the sub data set. Formation of the sub data set. Let us say this is D1, D2, D3, and etc. So from the construction of the sub data sets, again a model is constructed from each resulted data set. So here are the model M1, M2, M3, etc. So this is the process of bootstrapping. Whereas in aggregation, it aggregates the results of all the constructed models to form the final result. So the overall process is known to be the bagging technique. So in bootstrapping, we are taking some random sampling of instances with replacement, and we are forming some individual data sets. And from each data set, again, we are constructing a model. And up to this is the process of bootstrapping. And whereas in aggregation, it aggregates the results of all individual models to get the final result. So this is the bagging technique, and random forest uses this bagging technique to avoid overfitting of the data. So random forest actually combines the concepts of bagging and random sampling of features. So let us consider the example here. Random forest actually, as I said earlier, random forest actually considers bagging plus random sampling of features. So according to the bagging technique, here to construct the individual model, we need to take the random sampling of rows. So sampling of rows we need to take plus random sampling of features we need to take to form the dataset D1. Since let us assume that this is the home dataset, training dataset D. So from the training dataset, we need to take the random sampling of rows and random sampling of features to form the dataset D1. Similarly, we can form the dataset D2 and dataset D3 and so on. So from each dataset, we need to construct the decision tree. So after that as a part of aggregation process, so the each results of each decision tree should be aggregated to form the final result. So here random forest can act as a classifier as well as regressor. So in case of classifier, the majority voting given by all the decision trees is considered as the final result. Whereas in case of regressor, the values which are predicted by the individual decision trees should be averaged, and the averaging value should be taken as the final result. For example, if the decision tree 1, the predicted output from this is 5, and here the predicted output from the decision tree 2 is 2.3, and from decision tree 3 is some 4. So what is the final output in the sense? It is the average of the all values resulted from the decision tree. So this is the overall final result obtained. In case of random forest, which is act as a regressor. So in case of the classifier, let us assume that here is the fruit data set. And from this fruit data set, we have constructed 3 different decision trees. And as you see here, the result of the decision tree 1 is a class A, which is nothing but apple. And result of decision tree 2 is also a class A, which is nothing but apple. And result of decision tree 3 is banana, which is nothing but class B. So since it is a random forest classifier, it needs to consider the majority voting given by the individual decision trees. As you see here, there are 2 apples and 1 banana. So majority voting is given for apple. So the final class is apple only. So in this way, we can able to classify the tuple in case of random forest. So let us consider a practical example. So here we are having some data set. Let me note down the rows here, row number. So if you observe here, initially as we have discussed, what we need to do here, we need to take the random sampling of random sampling of rows we need to collect, and random sampling of features we need to take to form the data set D1. So here, what are the rows we have taken here? Row 1 is taken, row 2 is taken, and again row 5 is taken as the dataset D1. This is bootstrap dataset D1. And columns we have selected is X1, X3, X4 we have selected. We have not included the X2 because this is a random sampling. And again, if you consider dataset D2, so here, if you observe here, in dataset D2, so we have taken X2, we have taken what are the rows we have taken? 1, and this belongs to row 3, and this belongs to row 4. So here row 1 is there, and here also row 1 is there, which is repeated because this is random sampling with replacement. So in this way, we can construct different bootstrapping datasets, and from the bootstrapping datasets, in the next stage, we can construct the decision trees from each and every constructed dataset. And after that, in the aggregation process, we can aggregate the results of the individual decision trees. So this is all about random forest. And let's come to the name of the random forest, why it is called as random forest actually. So coming to the randomness, or first coming to the second word, forest. As the name itself indicates, forest in the sense it's consisting of some set of trees. So here also we are having some set of decision trees, right? So that's why the name comes as forest. And what is the randomness added to the algorithm name? So randomness in the sense we are taking random sampling of rows and random sampling of features, right? That's why the name comes as random forest. Okay. And now finally, why how the process of overfitting, or how the high variance resulted in decision trees avoided in the random forest. So here, for example, consider here we are having some 100 rows, and how out of 100 rows, let us assume that 30 rows, the last 30 rows are modified LET. So what happened here, if you have constructed decision tree directly from this entire data set, so modifying 30 rows may drastically affect the model which is constructed. So that's why it results into the process of overfitting. But what happened here, the modified 30 rows, that 30 rows which are modified may not be fall into the single bootstrap dataset. They may spread across different bootstrap datasets. That's why what happened, on an average, from each bootstrap dataset, approximately 5 or 10% of the data is modified. So if you consider each bootstrap dataset, approximately either 5 or 10% of the data is going to be modified. So such a little change happened to the database dataset may not affect the constructed model. So in this way, we can avoid the process of overfitting in case of random forest. So hope this video explains better for the random forest, and hope you understand better. And thank you for watching the video, and please subscribe the channel if you want more updates from me, and thank you.